So thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. This is our first virtual live reading event, and some of our most generous friends have offered to read tonight. It's great to see so many familiar names and faces in the chat. For those of you who are new to SOAR, we're a comics community based in Gainesville, Florida, and with members across the world joining us online through our Mighty Network and through our online programs. Let us know in the chat. I've already seen a few people getting started. Let us know where you're joining us from. My name is Emma. I'm a SOAR alumni and an instructor, and I'm really excited to get us started. I just ask that everyone keep themselves on mute while our readers speak. And if you have any questions or, excitement, to pop it in the chat. Before we begin, I did just want to offer a content warning. The following readings include mention of suicide and suicidal ideation, as well as reference to violence. So the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline will be in the chat. And when we post this to YouTube, it will be included in the information below. To start with, I'd like to welcome Beth to kick things off for us. Hi, Beth. Are you ready to lead us out of the gate?
I'm ready to do that, yes. Okay.
Amazing. So please, would you be able to introduce yourself and your project?
Sure. My name is Beth Trembley, and I'll be reading tonight from a graphic memoir that I've been working on for a couple of years now, and I think will be near completion, or it will be completed this year. It's called Look Again, A Trauma and 6 Variations, and it explores the impact of trauma, illustrating how one person's account of what happened changes over time alongside their understandings of self and the nature of truth. So I'll be reading from an early section of that tonight. Shall I just go ahead then, Emma? Okay, great. Look Again, A Trauma and 6 Variations. The first time I told this story, I drew it, or at least part of it. I didn't feel very coherent. The voices in my head kept badgering me. Don't get all emotional. Danger! Stay calm. They didn't like it when I had waved at the deputy a minute earlier. Don't overreact. Warning! Control yourself. Did waving make me look friendly? Helpful? More suspicious? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell anything for sure. Even the woods, which I knew so well, my sanctuary, had become something else. I didn't know what exactly, but not safe. I struggled to make sense of it. I remember trying to mark the way as if it were a treasure map. But I drew a circle, not an X, to mark the spot. The sheriff's deputy, who came after I called 911, had asked me to draw it. Do not mention the time or you'll get arrested. Here. I expected a fancy pen and a leather notebook cover. Danger! Warning! Danger! Don't screw it up. Just tell the truth. What is the truth? You broke the law. Danger! Just tell what is necessary. Your selfishness will land you in jail. Danger! Just stay calm. Do not be dramatic. Then you will be safe. Warning! Danger! Warning! Danger! Warning! When I told this story the first time, I wanted only one thing: safety. Danger! You look like a suspect. Stay calm. Warning! knowing what happened didn't feel very safe at all. No drama. Stay rational. I remember wishing that the deputy would take off his mirrored sunglasses. I wanted to see how he was reacting. He didn't need them. It was November in Michigan, so cold and gray out. Should I say something? Are you nuts? Danger! Be polite. I remained silent about the sunglasses. I remember I did not know what had happened to me, so I didn't know how to tell it. I remember that while I talked to the deputy, the woman who had let me use her phone drove off to go to a doctor's appointment. I remember that my German shepherds, who had been in the car for over an hour since we fled the woods, started to protest. I remember how my body felt. I remember that on the day it all happened, I knew exactly what day it was, but not long after, I started to forget. Years later, I could not remember what day or even what year it happened. I still have to look it up every time. But I always knew it had happened on a Friday morning in November. So tell me exactly what happened. I got to the park just before 9. I know because I was listening to the news on the radio. No, don't mention the time. Up next, the national news, followed by local updates here on Michigan Public Radio. The time is 8:57. There was a truck in the lot already, which was unusual this early. Oh, crap. Was it? Yes, because I come out here this early because no one else is around. Oh, warning! Do not tell them you let them off leash. It's illegal. He'll know you're a criminal. Stay logical. It leaves me the rest of the day for work. I wanted him to trust me. I got the truck's plate number if you want it. He didn't ask me why I had memorized it. I remember working hard not to look like I was concealing something. Probably a jogger. I'll bring your leashes in case we see them. You boys behave. Free dogs. Dogs must be on 6-foot leash. Big fine. If you didn't have to run those damn dogs off leash, then none of this would have happened. That is true. Danger! I remember it was a great morning for a walk. I walked out the North Trail as usual. It was quiet in the woods and in my brain. I hope we don't run into the jogger. No killing any woodland creatures. My whole life, walking my dogs in the woods has brought me peace, a connection to something greater than myself. There, the walls could come down, and I felt safe. I didn't get very far, maybe 100 yards, just where the bog starts on the right, but not as far as the bench at the Birdwatchers Theater. I remember realizing I had stopped walking, that I couldn't walk anymore. A silvery tang slid into the back of my throat. I remember I didn't know why, but then my brain let me see. In a tree on the left, maybe 15 yards. He's hanging, but it doesn't look like suicide. Do not be dramatic. Danger! Tell the truth. His arms and one leg, well, it looks like someone strung him up. Warning! Did you see anyone else? No. No one to corroborate. Danger! Did you check to see if he was dead? No. I remember thinking I should have checked that this was not a good situation at all. I needed a good situation. I did look at my watch. It was exactly 9:17 when I found him. Danger! 9:17. You have proved you are reliable. Oh, no, 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 you blab too much. But you called 911 at 9:53. See, now, questions. Why did it take you 40 minutes to call us? Fool, you're going to jail now for sure. Be logical and calm, and you might get out of this. You're going to jail, possibly on TV, looking criminally insane, all sweaty and filthy in those dog walking clothes without even taking a shower. Danger! I was sure I was going to wind up a suspect. Just be sure to find someone to take care of the dogs. That's the end of my reading. Here's this information if you need it. It'll also be available to you in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Emma, can we unmute?
I don't know the best way. Yeah. Everyone, please clap.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So that was Beth reading from her work in progress. For those of you who are joining us a little bit late or midway through the reading, tonight's our first live virtual reading event, and we've been lucky enough to corral some people into helping us, including AJ, who's up next. So please, everyone, welcome AJ, who'll be reading an extract from their ongoing webcomic. AJ.
Hi, well, I'm AJ, or Adrian. I use he, him pronouns. So I'm coming from Colorado. I'm 22. I'm a graduate of the SAW year-long. So I make a webcomic about two bisexual jewel thieves who hate each other. Not to be me, but... So that's what I'm reading from today. I'm just reading like a slightly abridged first chapter, so. And bear with me, the beginning doesn't have a ton of dialogue to read, but we'll still go through it. So. Hang on. And you, Emery, you're wasting your time looking in here, you know. Yeah, square the fuck up, Jack. Oh yes, you're rude. I forgot about that. Like hell you did. Calm down. I already know you came to take this. I need to move my webcam. It is blocking all of my text. Loan Shark in Chief had it locked up in his office. Something about a private buyer? I don't suppose you know anything about that, hmm? Oof. Well, I'm not whipping it out till you hand that book over. I thought you had higher standards, though. What do you need a worthless old book for? Don't play dumb. You're right, I shouldn't assume you have taste. Hup. Ow. Wow, okay. Gimme, gimme. There's a lot of swearing in this. I should probably have mentioned that. Crime. Hey. Smack. Smack. Lights come on. More swearing. Bye. You aren't faster than me, weirdo. You are joking. Bastard. Huh. Yee. Fuck. Wee. Hey. Don't slow down, don't slow down, don't slow down. Idiot. Warned ya. You suck. Give that back and get off. You know we can both go faster than that. Could you go and be on crack somewhere else? You ought to come with. You can buy me a drink. I think we finally have something to talk about. This is stupid. If we're actually going in, we could at least change clothes or literally do anything else. We're gonna get caught. You're not cute. You take that back. No, go ahead. Stab me. I'm not doing this. Boo. What do you want to do instead? As I said, anything else? Anything? That's nice of you. Honk, you know. All right, how is the woods not a worse idea than a bar? No witnesses. Bears. At least we're allowed to kill those. I don't think you could kill a bear. I have a hunting license. I meant like physically, emotionally. Why the fuck do you have a hunting license? Never mind. We came to the woods to talk about this cool book I stole. Who gave you a hunting license? And you only stole that thing because you hate me and you want to see me cry. Maybe so. Eek. But also, I am confused. You know I only stole the book because of this, right? Okay, Pierce Brosnan, are they handing those out with every license to kill bears now? Why are you so hung up on the hunting license? What were you saying about a private buyer? I asked you first. Well, yeah, well, you're trying to work together, right? Because you haven't skinned me yet. I'm assuming you dragged me out here for the romantic ambiance. That's almost sweet of you to say. Hey, credit where due. You're a scummy weirdo, but I wouldn't put up with that if you were actually a creep. I can tell the difference. Gimme. Look at this. Cut that out. Rah. I don't suppose you actually came prepared. And I'm just gonna say again how twig-like and snappable you are. Here, see if it works. Well, I meant snappable in a good way. Okay. So we just take this necklace to that bank in Vienna and they'll just let us in? Apparently. I hope the book has some more information. That's literally so dumb and weird. Rich old people are insane. Well, Graham was a jeweler. I guess it's not the ugliest thing I've taken off with. It's more of a statement piece. Ew. Ew. Where'd you even get the other half? Very funny. Stop holding my hand. You're 100% holding my hand, though. You really don't remember. Nope, makes sense right now. Heh. Never mind. I know what happened. Oh, goody. It was the same night you got your half, Deloise Medved's wedding, only I guess you mustn't have seen me. I saw you, though. Okay. Why are you smiling? Why are you blushing? Crushing your bones is my kink. I don't believe you. We did not get those on the same night. We did too. The night we met, actually. So we did meet in a way. Dude, you're really more confusing than you think you are. I just mean if we're calling a truce, you'd better not lie to me. Oh, I did the wrong voice for that. I just mean if we're calling a truce, you'd better not lie to me. That's better. Emery, when have I ever lied to you? Actually, have I? I don't remember. I don't either, but you did try to blow me up once. Are you still mad about that? Nah, you still mad about that time I stabbed you? I think I've definitely stabbed you since then. Hey, yeah, you did. We score for that time with the water wheel and the snakes. Of course, bygones. Great, truce on, let's go. I'm freezing. So who's hanging on to the book till next time? Me, obviously, because I'm the one who stole it. However, I'll let you hold on to my half of the necklace if it makes you feel better about losing. I don't feel shit. Speaking of that, you've been holding onto that thing for like 4 years, huh? What of it? Nothing. I just know you don't like to keep the stuff you steal. As opposed to your inconspicuous, extremely practical approach. What do you know about my approach? Hoarding. It's called hoarding. It's cool as hell and you don't know anything about me. The thing is, you totally knew I had the other pendant this whole time. Hang on. Emery, I have no reason to care, and under other circumstances, I would just steal it. But if I'm right about this, and having the privilege of knowing you, I suspect it's not worth the extra time we'd usually spend antagonizing one another. That is to say, I trust that if we had hit upon something substantial here, we'd have more competition than just each other. Right, you think the whole thing is a bust, and the vault's probably full of garbage. And that's the one and only reason you would ever stoop to team up with me. Believe whatever you want, but if no one else is coming after this, if you're trying to get me to give this up, you're wasting your time. I've already made up my mind about it. Well, when the vault is, in fact, full of garbage, don't say I didn't warn you. And for the record, I'm not trying to get you to do anything. Make it a habit. You're positive you haven't heard of anyone else going after this. The last time, no. I guess there's Claudia, but she's more after me than this, I think. Claudia. Yeah, Claudia Day. Have you heard of her? After you in what way? I'm in demand. Is she a cop? What are you telling me right now? I think she's like a cop. Emery. I took the pendant from her, way back whenever, and now she's she'll half-ass an attempt to catch me once every 6 months. Wait, hang on. I thought you stole it from that man you were with at the wedding. Oh, Baum? No, he was trying to get his hands on both sides before you fucked everyone over. He's dead now, so whatever. I see. Weren't you going to take his money in both necklaces anyway? Mind your own business. How'd you even get into that wedding? I spent the whole time sneaking around, but I didn't see you. That is rather the idea, what with the stealing. Sure, I'll buy that you're capable of being good at this shit. How can I reach you in town? What? Okay, we're missing a panel here, but she basically says, I'm staying with a girlfriend. I'll give you her number, but don't call me. He says, oh, well, I'm in a temporary situation as well. In that case, hey, I didn't say that. Okay, I'm sorry about that missing panel. Don't know how that happened. You sure you don't want me to walk you home? Be my guest. We'll see if you can skate that fast. Any last terms and conditions before I go? Yeah. If we're gonna work together, I'm in charge, obviously. Right, I shouldn't have asked. I'm dead serious, moron. Okay, boss, I'm going to leave now. Do you also think that this may be a terrible idea? I think you could do a lot worse. And that's it.
Yay! Thank you so much, AJ.
Yeah.
I've just put in the chat the link to the webcomic that this is an extract from. Wow, Don't worry about the missing panel. You filled it in wonderfully. Thanks, AJ. Next up, we have Tom Hart, the founder and fearless leader of SAW. Who'll be reading some extracts from some old work. So Tom, take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Emma. I probably can't just go without like saying stuff. So I just want to thank everybody for being here, and thanks for being in this space. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for celebrating this medium. You know, I'm so glad that people come here and learn this crazy medium and explore it and try new things with it. And this kind of reading is a new thing with it too. It's really just, it's just fun and such a celebration, excuse me, during these crazy times. I'm so glad that this is happening. And I don't even know who arranged it. Was it Barry and Emma? Barry or Emma? Anyway, thank you, you guys, and thanks everyone for being here. Okay, so I'm gonna read a bunch of stuff that, oh, I'm getting a visitor. Hey, Mom. Oh, that's my daughter. I'm gonna read a bunch of stuff. All you need to know is that there is a character, a man, and he has been transported 75,000 years into the past. And that's everything you need to know. So I guess I share my screen, huh? Here we go. All right, there it is. Oops, hang on, we're gonna close that. Great. And we're gonna go one up, there we go. B, that's his name. You'll hear that a lot. B has found himself 70,000 years in the past, or is it 100,000? Who knows? Either way, he has done something that has crossed the line. Now he is in a ditch, be speared. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Chatbots for men's soap trying to be ribald. I've seen kids' toys turn grown men into blubbering babies. The future, man, what a joke. Wait till you get there. You'll be like, this is what we kept clobbering each other for? Listen, can I just see Flarg one more time? Please. Tell her I love her. Give her this. Ask her what WTF, how do you say that? I don't know. Every strip ends with a title panel. So when you see the title panel, you'll know that strip is done. And then usually I show what it looks like originally, and then we'll move on. Here's the next one. B is dying, speared in the chest. He probably deserved it. Ask history what he did. There are no records except this one, and it is deeply ambiguous. Fine, kill me, paleo world, with your spears and sepsis. Think you're smarter than me? It's called sepsis. I'm dying of sepsis, you dumb grunting maniacs. Big word, yes. Here's another one for you. Toxic masculinity. I'm talking about you, Clag. Here, I'm gonna save your gross souls. I put my bloody hand on this rock. There, I've just invented art. You're welcome. And there's the end of that one. Okay, that looks like that. Somewhere or somewhen on the brink of civilization, a man has done wrong. Can it be? A true man is never wrong, only wronged by the unfree. In 80,000 years, you'll know what it's like for your bones to creak and your hair to thin. What a shame, big caveman. Yes, you will discover shame in your perfect functioning society. Who will feel the first shame? Who will be the first to hide their eyes for fear of what the tribe will think? Who will regret their own desires? Who will despair over their own humanity? I am not ashamed. I am lovable. Poor B. All right. B is dying 80,000 years ago, shot in the heart, and we're all to blame, or our ancestors anyway, maybe his too. B is dying, B is dying is a coarse, dry world full of brutal ideas, death all around, plus a beautiful fig tree. You can't kill me, I'll kill myself first. Ugh. Who was the first suicide? Who said, I've had enough of this cold, brittle world? Who said, what's the GD point? Who was the first cutter? Any of your children? Which one of your children would rather slice themselves into fillets than to give in to your brutishness? Who has already seen the future and said, suck it? I've been there and you're right, kids, you're right. Suck it, future. And that's what that one looks like. Okay, so now Emma has to tell me as I switch windows if you can still see my comics. And we're gonna
All right, I'm ready.
there. Oh, nope, I gotta share again. Hang on. 2 more, or 3 more.
There we go.
And you can see that one, right?
Yeah.
Oops, I don't want to go full screen though. Bummer. There we go. We just want to get rid of it. There we go. Listen to B. He is a supine seer and he knows how to delegate. Wait, I don't want
Tom,
that
I
one.
think we're on a different.
Yeah, I know. I
panel.
want that one. Sorry.
That's okay.
This
We're
one's
seeing Don't Crap in That Creek.
yeah, don't crap in that creek. Do you want to read it, Emma?
You got it.
Okay. Don't crap in that creek. Don't grow your farm 600 miles wide. It's the future now, but 100,000 years ago, this place was holy. B is dying, and it's people, these proto-people, it's these proto-people who are killing him. I have a vision. This is for all you Floridians. I'm floating through pristine springs, clear bubbling water full of manatees, eelgrass, and 6 types of turtles. The grasses carry me and are carried by the current carried by the rains guided by Leto, Neptune, and the river gods and goddesses. I am dying. Dying is the best activity for a man, but it's death for a manatee, you monsters. These manatees should become mankind, you beasts. He's dying, and that's the end of that strip. Someday I'll explain all the puns in that one because no one gets them. Okay, B is a child of the universe. He needs your love and your attention. Hold him in your hands, hold him in your gaze, hold him in your heart as you mercilessly destroy him. Pretend you saw me. Pretend you saw a shy princess. Pretend you saw an egg. I'm a kitten, I'm a cheetah, I'm a snake. Crack, crack, crack. Pretend I'm a volcano. Don't touch the hot lava. Oh, B is dying. I have one more for you. And it is here. Listen to B. He is a supine seer and he knows how to delegate. The children, he says, the children know better than any of us. Listen, let's listen to the seer as he grooms the next generation. The young men and women are all humiliated. The shy women are demons inside, but we force corsets and skirts on them and careful, small actions. The men, we make trim their chins and follow the rules set down by some sad land robbers generations ago. The woman, we make follow the men. The young men and women should be told, nay, asked, put your gaze on the horizon. Put your ear to the forest floor. Raise the locust shells high to the wind. What do you see? What do you hear? What is the rattling telling us? When you look at us in a circle, what do you see coming at us over our shoulders? If we've missed a threat, tell us. But if we've missed a glory, for God's sake, shade our eyes and lead us there. And those are all the children in the trees. And there's no final panel. Emma, I'm done. That's it.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
That was great. Thanks for reading, Tom.
Oh, you're welcome.
Next up, and our last reader for tonight, we have Barry Sawicki. I realize I've never said your last name out loud. Who many of you probably know and are familiar with from our draw jams. He is like the big reason why we're here and why we've been able to sustain a community online over the last year. So Barry, please share with us your story.
That's really nice of you to say. I took the graphic novel course and I finished like a episode or a chapter of my book. Hold on, shoot. Here. I printed it up. And this one is sort of like the next part. And the book's called Wicked Problems. And it's about like my growing up. I grew up on this mountain. My parents were doing what's called farmsteading now, but there wasn't a word for it then. And the sort of like the thing to know about this one is that we heated the house entirely with wood. They built the house. It was beautiful on the inside, and the outside was just unpainted plywood because who gives a shit, right? And I had to like split the wood. My brother and I spent like a lot of the time in the summer doing that. And then hold on. And then in the winter, all right, how's my share? Is it good? Okay, I'm gonna assume it's good. Okay, so I don't like this cover. So, and I don't like the next cover either. But, all right, so it was a dark time for the Barry Alliance. See, there's Barry. It's fiction because I'm not really a bear. On a remote ice planet, seconds before the base was destroyed. Through the universe, the engines whine. Dad, it's too cold in here. Well, you could try the thermostat. Careful. Click and schmack. Did I break it? Fredo, that was our chance to find out what it feels like to be warm. No, it wasn't. That thermostat doesn't do anything. I only put it up there to fool the code inspector guy. Click. It's just like it was hung on a nail on the beam. It like didn't even have wires. Good night, guys. It's supposed to snow real hard all night, so you might get a snow day. Don't say the S word in this house. I don't want any snow. Good night. I'll be right up to put you to bed. Mom, if we have a snow day, who's gonna stay home and take care of us? Well, it depends. And then snow day, but you can see it's 3 a.m. If he gets the driveway plowed by morning, I'll be stuck here alone with the kids all day. I'll go batshit. Nobody needs us to do the stuff you and me do, Tractor. They need somebody to do it because they don't want to figure out how to do it for themselves. But they want to pay that person to do it. And as soon as they start to need anybody in particular, they want to pay somebody else. I don't know what he's talking about. He went back to sleep, but it's still snowing. And it's 5 a.m. The driveway is like really long. All right, Tractor, one more pass. As the alarm goes off again in the middle of the night. One more time. Good news, kiddos. School's been canceled. You get a snow day. Good morning, everybody. How about some pancakes with that maple syrup we made? Finished plowing the driveway, so I gotta go to work now. Time to go to work. Thank you, Tractor. Can't wait to do it all again next time. Ready to go, truck? Bring. What exactly am I supposed to do on top of this mountain with these children all alone all day? You should just kick them out. Kick them out in the snow to play. They don't want to play in the snow. It's cold and wet. The snow is just nature trying to get rid of us. They need to go out there and show it who's boss. I cannot understand why you think you need to go to work on a day like this. These children love you. They want to play with their dad. Why can't you be here for them? They're so upset that you aren't playing with them right now. All you got to do is make being inside more boring than the outdoors is cold. Get them to do something boring, like folding laundry or making crafts. Okay, will do. Thanks a lot. Well, I'll be it. Let's do a snow day craft. They get kicked out. You guys go play outside. I'll call you when you can come in. All right, so there's another section after this, sort of like mini chapters. All right, so this one's called Snowbank. And there's Dad, he's fixing some part of something on the table. And there's the kids pretending to pay attention to him. Did you know that anybody can repair a carburetor? You don't have to be an ultimate badass. All you need is a screwdriver, one of them socket wrenches, and a pair of needle nose pliers. It is one of the folk ways of our people to be able to take a pair of needle nose pliers and gently pinch together this tiny, delicate clasp, slowly drawing it back along the tubing until poop. And then beep. Huh? Beep. Why beep? What's this about beep? I don't get it. Anyways, you get your Phillips head screwdriver, beep. Listen, bud, I'm trying to impart to you the sacred folk wisdom of our ancestors, people who came to this place not that long ago from an even colder place, so that you can never be drafted into the Russian army like Grandpa. And although I'm happy to pass this tradition along to you, I also have to fix this goddamn carburetor so I can get out of here and go to work. Beep. Okay, Mr. Robot Guy. You take your Phillips head screwdriver and pull the carburetor apart, tear out all its guts. Then you have to dig around in its bowels for that goddamn spring that breaks every year. And yank it out, beep, and replace it with beep. Look, bud, say beep one more time, and I'm gonna throw you in a snowbank. You like that? That's my animation. Beep, yeah, I thought so. Wham! And floof. That's my boy. All right, thanks everybody, that's it.
Sorry, my dog's getting up all excited. Thank you, Barry, amazing.
Thanks guys.
I've just posted the link to Barry's website in the chat for anyone who wants to read more of this ongoing series. So that wraps up our readings for tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wanted to leave the call open to kind of, Tom mentioned a Q&A, but I didn't prepare any of the readers for that. So maybe it'll just be a chance to catch up and check in with each other at the end of such a great week. Unless anyone had any specific questions for Tom or Barry, Beth, or AJ, you can post them in the chat or unmute yourself and let us know.
Oh, somebody says, yay, Aunt Beth. Aw. Emma, if you don't mind me saying, just thanks for doing this. And also, like, I'm just happy to linger for a few minutes and just chat and say, thanks so much. And
Yeah, thanks so much for coming. This was so fun.
Yeah,
I can't believe that this actually happened and it worked and we didn't have any major technical problems.
Well, that's it. So a couple of people are asking where this work was made and also if we're planning on doing it again. I can answer the second question, which is yes, it's my hope that we can make this a regular event on the last Friday of every month. And when we come to a time when we can meet in person again, I hope that we're able to create like a hybrid of the live in person and live kind of streamed online. That's my big goal, but I'll need Barry's tech savvy to make that happen. So there was also a question about where these works were developed, whether they were part of the graphic novel course or, so I don't know if each of you wanted to answer that. I know maybe one of those was, but the other three, not so much. AJ, do you want to tell us like how you started developing Emmy and Jack?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a alumni of SAW. I haven't taken any classes there since then, but it was great. But basically during quarantine, I was working initially on another project that was making me very miserable just because it had gotten so out of hand and I didn't know what to do with it. So I just started watching a lot of Lupin the Third, which is an anime about a thief. And I guess it's my comfort show or whatever. So I was just like, I'm gonna stop working on this comic, even though I've spent so long working on it and nothing's really come out of it that I'm proud of. But I'm just gonna stop working on that. And then I'm gonna make something new. And it's gonna be like as dumb and silly as I can make it while still making it like something I'm proud of, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but like just the objective was to be very dumb with it. And then I just kind of went through and was like, what kind of stuff do I really love to read about? What kind of stuff just makes my brain go burr, you know? So I was like, okay, enemies to lovers, random thief hijinks, cartoon violence. I like it when characters have color motifs. So I just like had a laundry list of things I like and was like, yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just turn all of these things into something. I don't know, but I started posting in January of 2021. And I've been posting 3 times a week since then. I just took this last week off, but before that, you know, that was a good streak. But yeah, it's been much better, turns out, when you're like, you really enjoy the thing you're making. So
Absolutely.
would highly recommend.
Are you finding like kind of having this plan of releasing every or 3 times a week is kind of incentive to keep creating?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I basically wouldn't have taken this last week off if I hadn't been like dealing with some personal stuff, but it's just like I basically chose that goal because it was like slightly above what I was comfortable doing and what I'd feel like that's like a good relaxed pace. And so I just went like slightly above that and I figured it out and figured out what my schedule needed to be to keep up with that. And it's been really rewarding. So yeah.
I love that. I love that, aiming for something that's just slightly above where you're comfortable. That's such like a great way to create growth for yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tom, did you want to describe where your project comes from? Because it's something you've been working, like B is someone you've been working with for a while as a character.
I have a tendency to really blab, so cut me short. But I will explain that I made some of you know I made a graphic memoir in 2016. Wait, oh crap, I can't remember the year. But anyway, I was working on developing, for some silly reason, a sequel to it, more memoir. And after a little while, I had a 28 page outline. The outline itself was 28 pages. And it just started to feel like something I was never ever gonna make. And then I had a friend with a website. Those are easy to find, by the way, friends with websites, you know. And she said she wanted to know if I had any ideas for a weekly strip. And I had done all sorts of strips in the past. And for some reason, there on page 27 or 28 was this one line that said, B is slowly dying and rants a lot. And that was the line. And I emailed my friend, I said, I have an idea for a weekly strip. And that's what I did. And it was really good because actually in a lot of ways that unblocked me a lot, because I hadn't really been very productive and I hadn't known what I really wanted to do for a long time. I don't know if, like AJ, I set myself a goal like outside my abilities, or actually the opposite. I sort of set one lower than like I knew I could do a weekly strip of just a character horizontal with a lot of words. And since I hadn't been doing much in the past, and I had actually sort of been blocked, that having that goal on a weekly basis really managed to work out well. And if I can make a quick pitch for the or plug for the graphic novel course that we do, having built that character for about 23 or 4 strips, then I sort of got to know him and the world. And then when we did the graphic novel development course here at SAW in June, I was able to sort of run with that and make it into a longer story that I'm really satisfied with. And it's really different than those single strips you saw. I don't know, I feel like SAW has really helped me get sort of unstuck and motivated. And it's sort of what we say that we do. And I'm really sort of an example of it. So that's my story.
I feel like you are the opposite in some ways to AJ, in that like you set like very manageable goals for yourself. Like at the moment, your goal is 1 panel a day.
6 panels a week. Yeah. Really tiny panels.
Amazing.
But it's working.
Thanks, Tom. Is Beth still on the call?
Yep.
Yeah. Beth, do you mind if I ask you about your project? I know some people in the call are probably like from the memoir group and are familiar with it. Did you want to describe like you've been working on this for years?
It'll be 5 years in April.
In April? Is there a date that we can celebrate the anniversary?
I don't remember, but yeah, I had just started at SAW. I had just found SAW, did a class, was getting ready to sign up to do another class. These are online classes, and was sketching as I always did, and really honestly, without thinking about it, what came out of me was the drawing of what I saw that morning. And putting it outside of my head for the first time completely shifted my relationship with that event. And I had already written prose about it. I have an essay published about what happened to me that day that was written, gosh, almost 15 years ago now. But I had never thought about it really since, and drawing it again really sort of changed my understanding of what happened. And so I thought, oh, I'll do a short little, comic about what happened to me that day. So, 300 pages later, I am almost done. But I've been with SAW, and I've done the memoir class, which helped me a lot. And there's a class Tom also does called Going In for the Snakes, which was hugely helpful. And I and a bunch of people here, I see you all, are members of the graphic memoir intensive kind of ongoing group. We share work with each other, and those folks have read like 7 drafts of this thing. So yeah, that's where it came from.
I remember when I first met you, Beth, it was in 2018 at a week-long workshop in Gainesville.
In Gainesville,
And
yeah.
you kind of mentioned, you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna introduce some characters that are like fantastical into the story. And that was when you started brainstorming that. Do you want to talk about the 3 kind of figures we saw throughout that, including Danger Pickle, as
Sure.
so commonly known?
So yeah, Danger Pickle. I as with many of us, I have voices in my head, not in, in the sense that when, you talk to yourself, and in the moment when I was having this trauma, I have a very strong memory of these voices appearing and telling me to do different things. And Danger Pickle was one of them. And the thing about Danger Pickle is that he only says 2 things, right? Danger and warning, ever. That's all he says. And I live with Danger Pickle, day and night, because I have a little anxiety. And the challenge for me was how to visually depict these voices and the tones of the way I talk to myself. And so I have to give a shout out to one of my nephews who, when he was 2, was finger painting and handed me this finger painted thing, 2, 3 years old. And it was this green and this red everywhere. And I said, as one does to a small child, lovely, what is that? And he said, it's Dangerous Pickle. And I kept the painting because I thought that was so dang funny. And that helped inspire Danger Pickle. So, but to just go one step further, last week, Donna, who's here on the call, shared a posting from an article and so forth about something called speculative memoir, which I certainly had never heard of. And now I'm all over because, hey, that's what I'm doing, which is a memoir with some fantastical elements in it. So now I have like the sophisticated name for what I'm doing. I knew that. So
I've been describing it's like auto fiction, like autobiography that's also got fictional elements. But when I found that, I was like, oh, I've got a word for it.
yeah.
Thank you, Beth. I haven't been keeping up with the chat, so if anyone has any questions for any of our readers tonight, or also just generally about SAW or whatever that might be, feel free to pop them in there now or unmute yourself, or if anyone wants to direct me to a question. I hear there's a lot of demand for some Danger Pickle merch, so we'll look into that. Doesn't look like too many questions. Tom, you're on mute. I see your mouth moving, but.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we want to hear from Barry, of course, but I also, I want to mention Erin's play, and maybe Erin would take a moment to mention it. There's only a few days left. Erin, do you want to unmute and tell us about that? Or no?
I appreciate it. I'll put a link to something in the chat.
Okay, yeah. Take a look at the link on the chat. Erin's amazing play is happening now, and I think only for a few days, virtual also, and you should check it out. Okay, Emma, over to you. I just wanted to say that.
No, you totally reminded me that I had just skimmed past Barry, who I wanted to ask about your project, of course, because it didn't just come out of the graphic novel course. It's something you've been working on for a while, right?
Yeah, I've been taking classes at SAW for a while, and in real life too. And Emma, you were my teacher like a bunch of times. And when I first came in with my comic, it was like 90 pages long. It was a total mess, and I scrapped it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start it over. And then I scrapped that, and then I made another one. And Beth was really awesome because she gave me like a complete in-depth reading of that third one. And she's like, this is so close. All you have to do is tighten up this and redo this. And I scrapped that one. But then finally, I started this one as trying to make it simple. And I got so much input from people in the Draw Jam and people in the graphic novel work group. I just remember because the graphic novel group started right when the pandemic started, I just felt like I was making comics constantly. And I did a ton of revision on that, and I tossed a lot of stuff out of that. And I mean this one, but but the newer one came much faster. Like it didn't need so many revisions, and AJ made me a font, so thanks. That saved me an enormous amount of time, because then I could just move things around much more easily on the page because I was doing it through Photoshop and everything. And I'm looking forward to getting started on the next section, and I'm in a class where Jess Rolifson is my mentor. So hopefully I'll be able to get like that next part, because I finished this like at the beginning of the mentor thing, and that it's about to wrap up next week, but hopefully I can get like something that I can show her before that's over for the next part.
I have a question because I know at some point in the process, color became a revelation to you, and like a realization that you could clarify a lot of things by using color. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I learned a lot during that time, because you know, I was taking the in-person classes with Tom and with Justine, and I just did not understand the whole importance of like your blacks and your patterns and your rendering and your whites and your like 3 layers of like foreground, midground, background. I didn't understand any of that stuff. And so everything I was doing was way overdrawn, way too much detail. I think I was hiding like a little bit. I didn't really want anybody to know exactly what I was talking about. And but like Tom and Justine told me about those like 3 layers and about how to frame things using either black or white or whatever. And then I realized, oh yeah, I kind of had always wanted to color this, and that's why it's been so hard for people to, my stuff was really hard to understand for a long time.
Sorry, it was really hard to understand, but you had such a clear vision of it. Like you knew exactly what was going on, right? Like
I knew what I was talking about. Nobody else
part
did.
Of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was also what you were writing about, because I think the first draft I saw of your work, you were talking about or speaking to like your son's diagnosis with dyslexia, and something like the realization that that's something you'd lived with for your whole life.
Yeah, that happened around the same time. Yeah, that was kind of a big eye opener for me, because he got diagnosed and we went to like this specialty group that did the thing, and they gave like a 20-page synopsis of this whole thing, and I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is me, you know. And then I kind of like, it kind of freed me up to be able to admit stuff like, yeah, I don't really read very well, which was extremely liberating, you know. Because like it explained kind of like a lot of the problems that I like have in the office, and why things are so much harder for me. Like with emails, I like cut them out and paste them in Word and reformat them and put them in bullet points and everything, you know, just so that I can read them. And I don't read a lot of books, which I've always been really embarrassed about, because I love books. So so that made me say, I want to have as little text in this as I possibly can, and to do it, have the drawings do as much work as I can possibly make them do.
That stuff's so funny.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good place to wrap things up. Tom, did you want to mention some of the things we have coming up, or?
We have so many things coming up, especially, why not more just like huddling around the campfire kind of things. Tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern, our friend Craig Bostic, who has over 5,500 cartoons, he tells me, archived, wants to start showing them. Actually, he got kicked off Facebook because he was doing this, but there were a few too many with copyright issues, and so he's going to show some of those too. Like they wouldn't, and I don't know how fast their algorithm worked, or maybe it was just in the archives or something, but they definitely caught certain ones, particularly if Disney owned them, or also I think Spider-Man was an issue, those 60s Spider-Man cartoons. So he's going to go out of his way to show some of that stuff, since we think we're going to be able to hide from Disney's lawyers. So anyway, yeah, for the next 4 weeks, 9 a.m. on Saturdays, we're just going to, Craig's just going to play some hard to find, really good looking cartoons from the 60s, mostly 50s through 70s, I think. So that's free and that's coming up. We have lots of big programs coming up if anybody's interested. The graphic novel program is starting in June. We're really excited about that. And yeah, some great work has come, some great people who have work here came from there. I'm just sort of doing that Zoom thing where you're noticing people.
Yeah. Oh, and we made an anthology.
Oh yeah,
of
Barry,
all
I think
those
so.
people's work.
Yeah, almost made it to the printer today. It's going Monday morning, first thing. It's going to the printer, but it's a 160-page beautiful compilation of.
And some of them are here. So like Michael's here, and he was a big part of making sure that, you know, he got a lot of the work done in terms of like organizing and keeping us all on task and editing. And Emma did an enormous amount of work formatting everything and putting it into the software that it needed to be in. And a lot of people contributed. Tony, who's here, contributed some work to it. Who else is here that contributed?
Darlene and Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm only on screen 1. I'd have to go to screen 2 and 3 to see some.
But that's on the SAW website and you can still order it. We're like going to send it to print now, but you can still order, like pre-order copies if you want.
And I'm really excited about how the community has grown in the past year, thanks to you all, and thanks to Barry, and thanks to Emma, and thanks to Beth and Aaron and so many others. And starting to publish more work is something Emma and I have talked about, but now is definitely the time. It's really exciting to gather some of the stuff we've done together. And I think we're already having nostalgia. Is that the word, nostalgia, when you have it for what's happening now? It's like I already want next year's anthology, and this year's anthology isn't even out yet. Like, you know, so actually that's like future nostalgia or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just really excited by everything that's been going on and all the work, excuse me, all the work that's been coming out and all the sharing that's been happening. And it's just amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. And thank you again, everyone, for being here tonight. I think that's a good place to leave things. The chat will be saved, as will including all the links that have been shared there, and the video will be posted to YouTube in the next 5 or 6 days, and it will include closed captions for anyone who wants to share it. So thank you again, and everyone, please enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, thanks. Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
It's great to see you guys. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, Beth.
I can't believe that worked.
Wait, let me stop the recording.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it. Wait, Tom, you might need to be the one to stop the recording if you're still there.
Yeah.
I think he's
Tom is
coming.
not.
You're the host now. Tom said the thing came up, said it made you the host.
But that is on my phone.